Assalamualaikum. My name is Laiba Bibi and my group member is Khansa Sabtur, and our topic is malware attack on Android devices, and we will discuss the detection and prevention techniques. First of all, I will discuss the background और इसमें ये है कि malware जो है वो एक significant threat है Android devices पे as it can impact millions of users worldwide. इसलिए जो malware की effective detection and prevention है वो बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है ताकि users का data protect हो सके और जो systems की integrity है वो maintain रह सके. There are different consequences of malware attack as it can lead to data theft, financial loss and privacy breach. In this presentation, we will compare malware detection and prevention methods and identify the effective technique for Android devices. नेक्स्ट है जी इफ़ेक्ट्स ऑफ मालवेयर अटैक और मालवेयर के डिफरेंट इफ़ेक्ट्स हैं. सबसे पहले तो इट कैन लीड टू प्राइवेसी लॉस, जिसमें ये है कि यूज़र्स के पासवर्ड्स और पर्सनल इन्फॉर्मेशन जो है वो स्टील कर सकता है मालवेयर अटैक. इसके अलावा इट कैन लीड टू फाइनेंशियल लॉस, जिसमें ये है कि जैसे रैंसमवेयर अटैक में होता है कि अगर एक बार एक्सेस चली जाती है तो उस एक्सेस को रिस्टोर करने के लिए यूज़र्स को पे करना पड़ता है. मालवेयर जो है वो डिवाइस के जो नॉर्मल ऑपरेशंस हैं उनको भी अफेक्ट करता है, डिवाइसेस को स्लो डाउन करता है और एप्लीकेशन को क्रैश कर सकता है. मालवेयर के डिफरेंट टाइप्स हैं जिनमें हैं वायरसेस, रैंसमवेयर, स्केयरवेयर, स्पाईवेयर, ट्रोजन्स एंड एडवेयर. रिसर्चर्स ने रिसर्च की अबाउट द डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स ऑफ डिटेक्शन एंड प्रिवेंशन ऑफ मालवेयर, जिसमें सिंपल स्टैटिक एनालिसिस टेक्निक्स भी हैं और डायनामिक एनालिसिस मेथड्स भी हैं और मशीन लर्निंग भी है. मशीन लर्निंग के थ्रू जो है वो इम्प्रूव किया जा सकता है डिटेक्शन को, और जो डिफ़िकल्टीज़ आती हैं अनसीन मालवेयर को डिटेक्ट करने में मशीन लर्निंग के थ्रू प्रॉब्लम को भी सॉल्व किया जा सकता है. First of all, it's important to understand the difference between static and dynamic analysis. So, static analysis में ये है कि without code execution malicious behavior को identify किया जाता है, जबकि dynamic analysis involves running applications in controlled environment to analyze the behavior of application. तो different types हैं static analysis की, जिसमें signature based approach है and permission based approach, and dynamic analysis की types में है anomaly based detection and emulation based detection. Now I will discuss these different types. पहले है सिग्नेचर बेस्ड डिटेक्शन, और सिग्नेचर बेस्ड डिटेक्शन में हम नॉन मालवेयर को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं थ्रू सम प्री डिफाइंड सिग्नेचर. इसमें हम ये करते हैं कि कोई भी जब न्यू एप्लीकेशन को हमने एनालाइज करना है तो हम उसके कोड को उसके डेटाबेस के साथ कंपेयर करेंगे और डेटाबेस में उसके जो प्री डिफाइंड सिग्नेचर्स हैं वो स्टोर हुए होंगे, और अगर तो उसका कोड मैच कर जाता है उन सिग्नेचर्स के साथ तो हम कह देंगे कि द मालवेयर इज डिटेक्टेड. और ये मेथड्स क्योंकि हाईली एक्यूरेट सिर्फ नॉन थ्रेड्स के लिए हैं, क्योंकि ये डेटाबेस के जो मालवेयर सिग्नेचर्स हैं उस पर डिपेंड कर रहे हैं. परमिशंस बेस्ड डिटेक्शन में हम परमिशंस को एनालाइज करके मैलिशियस बिहेवियर को डिटेक्ट करते हैं, और परमिशंस को चेक करने के लिए हम एनालाइज करते हैं एंड्रॉइड manifest.xml फाइल को. हम कंपेयर करते हैं इसकी इन्फॉर्मेशन को विद सम प्री डिफाइंड कीवर्ड लिस्ट और फिर मैलिग्नेंसी स्कोर कैलकुलेट करते हैं, और फिर हम क्लासीफाई कर सकते हैं एप्लीकेशन को कि वो मैलिशियस है या बिनाइन एप्लीकेशन है. In emulation-based detection method, we can monitor and analyze applications behavior without affecting the actual system. एक DroidScope जो है वो एक dynamic analysis platform है जो कि VMI को use करता है, and it operates outside of the environment without affecting the actual system, and it detects attacks on the kernel. Now I will discuss the problems with these approaches. सबसे पहले signature-based method इसलिए ineffective है क्योंकि ये सिर्फ non-signatures पे rely कर रहा है जो database में होंगे. इसके अलावा परमिशन बेस्ड मेथड जो है वो परमिशंस ओवररीच का प्रॉब्लम फेस कर सकता है, जैसे जब बहुत सारी ऐप्स सेम बहुत सारी परमिशंस को रिक्वेस्ट करेंगी तो फिर ये प्रॉब्लम परमिशन ओवररीच की प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है. एंड ये सिर्फ उन परमिशंस को फोकस करेगा जो कि एंड्रॉइड manifest.xml फाइल में डिक्लेयर हुई है. इसके अलावा और बहुत सा कोड हो सकता है एप्लीकेशन में जो कि मैलिशियस हो सकता है, बट ये उसको एनालाइज नहीं करेगा. इसके अलावा एमुलेशन और एनॉमली बेस्ड मेथड्स जो हैं वो बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट रिसोर्सेज रिक्वायर करते हैं, and it may produce false positive as well. Now my group member will present the next slide.
My name is Khansa Sabdur. In the previous slides we discussed how we can detect the attack, and now we will discuss the prevention techniques. First of all, we have dynamic analysis and runtime protection. This technique involves monitoring the behavior of an application while it is running on a device. This process helps in identifying any malicious activity that an app might perform during its execution. So basically how it works is that the system continuously analyzes the app's execution in real time. If an app starts to act suspiciously, for example trying to access sensitive information without proper permission, then the system can detect this unusual behavior. And how it can prevent is that the system can stop this app from continuing its harmful actions, thereby protecting the device and its data from potential harm. Next is AI powered sandboxing. AI powered sandboxing is a technique used to detect malware by creating a controlled environment. So basically we can create a pretend world and where apps run as if they are on a real device. The behavior of these devices are closely monitored and analyzed, and by analyzing the app's actions within the sandbox, the system can identify unknown malware based on suspicious behavior patterns. So rather than directly running the applications on the device, we can run these on sandbox and in a fake world basically, and then we can detect the problems, the malware attacks, and take proper actions. Next we have data execution prevention. Data execution prevention is security feature that prevents malware from executing code in certain areas of the device that are marked as non-executable. So for example, that is the specific patterns of the device memory are marked as non-executable. If malware tries to execute its code in these protected regions, then this prevention technique intervenes and stops the execution. So this helps in preventing techniques like code injection, where malicious code is inserted and executed in the memory. We have many other techniques as well, like API call analysis. This technique involves checking the request an app can make to use your phone features. For example, our cameras or locations. Some apps might make too many requests, and it is unnecessary for a gaming app to know your location. So, and we have many other app detection techniques as well. For example, anomaly detection and prevention, permission-based analysis. Now, let's explore the main detection methods that are signature-based detection with Androsimilar and Droid Analytics, and permission-based with Stowaway, and emulation-based detection. First, we have signature-based detection, that is with Androsimilar, which was introduced in 2013, and the main goal of Androsimilar is to detect unseen and zero-day malware samples by analyzing and comparing signatures. It uses fuzzy hashing techniques to create variable length signatures. For apps, these signatures are then compared against a database for known malware signatures. The system determines whether the app is benign or malicious based on similarity percentage. However, it has some limitations as well. For example, its effectiveness depends on the size of signature database, and the similarity percentage may sometimes classify benign apps as malicious. Next, we have Droid Analytics, which was introduced in 2013, and its main goal was to automate the collection of Android malware. And it creates 3-level signature based on API calls at method, class, and application levels. And it has limitations similar to Androsimilar, that Droid Analytics has limitations like limited signature database, potential misclassification of legitimate app, and inability to detect unknown malware types. Next, we have permission-based detection with Stowaway, which was introduced in 2011, and the main goal is to identify and notify about overprivileged applications. So it maps the permissions required by each API call to detect overprivileged applications, and its limitations are that it cannot detect unknown malware types and cannot resolve complex reflective calls. Lastly, we have emulation based detection with DroidScope. which was introduced in 2012. It tracks system calls and monitors both OS and Dalvik VM semantics. DroidScope performs virtual machine introspection to analyze application's behavior at runtime. It can detect privilege escalation attacks targeting the kernel and perform static analysis on the application. Next, we have AA Sandbox, which was introduced in 2010, and it executes applications within a sandbox environment to conduct dynamic analysis. It uses Monkey tool to simulate user interactions and analyze malicious behavior exhibited by the application. Next, we have some implementation tools. Android similar Droid Analytics, as we have discussed before, and then we have Strace. This tool monitors and logs system calls made by applications, enabling anomaly detection by identifying deviations from expected behavior. Next, we have APK tool, which is used to decompile, modify, and recompile Android package files. Next, we have recommendations. Based on our analysis, our recommendation is that we should use hybrid approach. That is, we should combine signature based detection, anomaly detection, permission analysis, and emulation based detection. This hybrid approach covers different aspects of malware behavior, from known patterns to suspicious activities and system interactions, enhancing overall detection accuracy. We have to regularly update signatures databases used in signature based detection methods. This ensures that new malware variants and zero-day threats are promptly identified and detected against, maintaining effective malware defense over time. Next, for conclusion, detecting and stopping malware on the Android phones is crucial but challenging. Each method we discussed, like looking for specific patterns, checking app permissions, watching for unusual behavior, and simulating how app works, has its strength and limitation. But by using all these system methods together, like we have already discussed, that the hybrid approach, we can better find and stop malware. This protects users from many different kinds of threats, making their phones safer to use. Next, for future work, we should work for making better algorithms, machine learning, and real-time tools, and improving our current methods. These are the key research papers and sources we use to understand and discuss Android malware detection methods. Thank you.